Right, well, I was trying to say this earlier, but I had a wind tunnel to confront, which I don't usually encounter just coming out of Coles. But I've come across the rudest person in Cairns, I think, today at the checkout. She actually came in from the actual mall, from that. She wasn't in the supermarket. I was standing in the express lane, and she lobbed herself right in front of me. Just slotted herself in. Didn't say a word, just basically pushed in front of me. She had one bottle of mineral water to buy. Now, if she'd been a normal person, she could have said, "Oh, can I cut in? I've only got one item." I would have said fine. It wouldn't have been an issue, but she's just, I assumed that maybe she had some business. She was already doing something with the checkout woman and she needed to follow up. That was a possibility. I was going to cut her that much slack, but nah, she's just a bitch. Just a selfish bitch. Unbelievable. I've never struck someone that blatant. I was just shocked that she actually did it. But it takes all times, doesn't it? And of course, the rule of law doesn't mean much up here anyway, so I guess she's probably adapting pretty well to the local circumstance. Look, most people are pretty good here, but there's a few rotten apples, that's for sure, and I think she's one of the rottenest. I think I'd call her scumbag of the week, actually. Why not? Yeah, unbelievable. Human nature. Most people are good, but gee, there's some scumbags out there. Never had to wait so long to get a blood test. There were 3 people in there seated before I got there. I thought I got there before 7:30, which is the opening hour. So geez, competition's pretty fierce to get your to get a blood test. I'll maybe have to camp out overnight to get a spot early. The main reason is I want to have my coffee, and I don't think that's part of the fast thing. You should probably not have that. So that's my major motivation to get it done early. But everybody does things early up here, especially in summer, of course. That'd be vital because it just gets so stinking hot. It's already starting to warm up. Getting close to having to use the ceiling fan, so it's just about just before November. So yeah, well, December is the beginning of summer, so we're not far off. So I mean, it's still okay. It's still quite nice weather here, but it's going to be 31 today, so it is creeping up there. Before that's been in the high 20s top temperature, which is really very, very pleasant. But getting a little on the warm side now. And it's Saturday morning in Cairns, a bit overcast, a bit sultry, been quite warm, so it'll be interesting to have some cooler weather coming. I actually used the fan last night for the first time. Yeah, first time in a long time I've actually had to use the ceiling fan, but yesterday it was pretty warm, even with the window open to cool off the room. I still needed that sort of relief. And news-wise, we've had the presidential debate, the second, which should have been the third, but they had to cancel the second one because they wanted to go totally virtual with a digital type presentation, and Trump wasn't going to have any of that. Apparently Trump did very well last night on Friday. What would it be, Friday night? No, it must have been Thursday night, I guess, in the States. He was much calmer, and actually having the moderator having the control over the mic, muting the mic, worked in his favour because it gave Biden more rope to hang himself, and he made some pretty stupid comments. The biggest flaw he made was he actually said, yes, we're going to cut out all fracking. Oil is gone, and we're going to move to renewables. Very similar to what's happening here in Australia with Albanese. It just, well, Shorten, I should say, actually Shorten with coming up with these ridiculous sort of positions on energy. I mean, the transition will happen automatically. You don't need to interfere in it. Governments need to get away from this sort of thing about getting involved in all these things. much better off if they just backed off and allowed the transition to take place. You've got people like Musk who are reducing the cost of electric vehicles, and in a couple of years they'll be pretty well parity with oil, and I'd say that that's when they'll really take off, and it'll happen naturally. It'll naturally occur. Apart from anything else, he needs time to build up all the production for batteries. It's going to be a huge demand, and he simply can't fulfill it at the moment. That's one of his biggest challenges. You know, he's starting a whole new industry from scratch, trying to turn it into mass production for motor vehicles. It's a hell of an ask, and a lesser man would probably buckle, but he's very motivated, and he's a smart bastard, and he's a hard worker, and he'll get it achieved. He'll get the goals. It's just a matter of time. It's just perseverance. We're close to seeing the SN8, which is his prototype for his Starship. It's got a nose cone, it's got fins, it's starting to look like a real 50s rocket. It's quite exciting. They've already had a static fire with 3 of the engines, the Raptor engines, and they're going to have to go through another one before they go for the trip, which will be they keep changing it. I think it's about 15 kilometres or something. I'm not sure how far up they're going to go, but I'll put it up on screen correcting me on that one. I think I'm being far too conservative there, but it's a substantially longer journey than with the hopper, and the big difference is that you'll be able to see if they can get the landing worked out, because that's going to be the next major technical challenge, to land the thing on ground and see how that works. So very exciting though. But like I say, Biden just absolutely, you know, everyone was saying that Trump needs to back off, get less aggressive, and allow Biden to do damage to himself, and he did. Although CNN said that Biden had won the debate. It's total opposite on Fox. It was about 75 to Trump, and CNN's a joke. They just can't be taken seriously. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that Trump did very well. I don't know if he needed to. I think he's already crushing the election already. I think he's gonna romp it in. There's just so many factors against the Democrats at the moment. Coming up with a loopy sort of far left agenda is not going to win you votes with the independents in America. They're the ones that you'll find Trump will get in droves. So not just the hardcore Republicans, you'll get a huge swag of those independents, and they'll make the difference. So as far as the Queensland election is concerned, I've got no idea what's going to happen there. They say that Palisades about 2 points ahead, which means that if there's a lot of shy Conservative voters out there, that may be easily overcome, and the Liberals might still get back in. But after the election in New Zealand, it sort of indicates that people are actually praising a government that's actually coming out hard with lockdowns. They seem to like it. They're so scared that they think anything that can stop the virus from spreading has got to be a good thing, without even thinking about the economic consequences. And that's always my theme. So yeah, and yesterday I didn't do a video because I got interrupted by a phone call in the middle of filming a segment, and I just lost interest after that. I wasn't super motivated anyway, so I just took a day off. Seeing I'm not getting any money for this, I don't think that's reasonable, and I find it a lot easier just doing these walking and talking videos anyway. A lot less editing required. So I'm just heading off to Woolworths up the road and get some food, because it's actually Grand Final day today, and the Grand Final is going to be at night. They've finally got the night Grand Final. I think the AFL's been sort of angling for some time. This year it's going to happen. I don't think it matters much because it's not really traditional anyway. I don't know if this Grand Final is going to mean much. even though my team's playing. It's Richmond versus Geelong. It just doesn't feel like a real grand final. It'll certainly be a small crowd compared to a packed MCG, and you won't have the parochial supporters there. So it's going to be a totally different thing, and I don't know. I'll watch it because it is a grand final, because my team's playing, but without the same buzz that you normally have with a traditional MCG final. So we'll see. I mean, they're both good sides too, Richmond and Geelong, and excellent sides. I would have liked to have seen Brisbane play in the final, but then again, if they had, they would have had all the parochial support, so it would have seemed like an away game for Richmond. So I don't think it means much any day. These days, these guys are pretty professional. They can play anywhere and sort of do okay, I guess. Oh. At least it doesn't look like it's going to rain today. That's the good news. Although I think we could do with a cool change. It's getting reasonably oppressive. So let's see how we go. Oh, there was actually a fireworks display that I filmed a little bit of yesterday. Big difference with this one is usually I get fireworks displays and I just hear the sound. I can never see the actual fireworks. This time I actually got a decent view of them. So that was a nice change, so I filmed a little bit of it. They're obsessed with fireworks up here. They seem to go off every few weeks. There seems to be something they're celebrating. I guess there's not much else to do. There you go. I was going to say empty. No, these ones are actually, a few of these are actually occupied. But this one on the corner, this property has been available for probably a year now. Used to be the bicycle repair shop, maybe 2 years. This has been empty for a long time. It's not a good sign for the economy. Lots of political posters here. The Liberal ones are down there. One of them says soft on crime. Here we've got the Greens, who had got a future for all of us. Yeah, a future of poverty. And then you've got the Labor guy, I think, who's the incumbent. So, but the Liberals have really put a lot of work into this electorate. And talking to my friend yesterday in Brisbane, he said he'd been contacted by both political parties by phone and text, and yeah, there's even bigger push by the parties in Brisbane. It's a bit more laid back here, but that's not surprising. But I will not be surprised if San Marino wins the seat here for the Liberals, but we'll see. That's only one small part of it. Townsville's only held by a knife edge by Labor. Like I say, it all depends how much support Palaszczuk's getting for a tough stance on shutdowns. It could be what wins the election, which is a real tragedy in my opinion, because this particular regime has been mired in corruption with Jackie Trad, and I think they've been in for 2 terms, and it's time for a change, because people in the bush are hurting because of them, and they're boosting the public service to absurd levels. Is only going to drain opportunities for private enterprise to flourish. So it's bad all around. It's not as bad as Victoria, but although economically it's not good here. The unemployment rate's pretty bad in Queensland, so yeah, that's not good. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's nice here. Been down here, showground. Never been in there. But yeah, it's an attractive part of town because they put a bit of money into it. They even sort of landscaped the bitumen there, sort of made it look artsy-fartsy, which is quite nice. Yeah, boy, that sun's got a kick to it. I'm glad I'm heading off in the morning a little after 9 o'clock. I'm glad I'm making an early start today. Yeah, it's going to be a 31 degree, I think. Pretty warm. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.